Hi everyone, welcome back to part 3 of our Kyoto trip. This time we'll talk about our experience and also how much we spent at each location so you have a better idea for your future Japan trip planning. Let us know in the comments below if you enjoyed this style and want us to do more like this in the future. We'll start off with our first activity, which is a matcha ceremony with a kimono rental included.
We went through this experience hosted by Kyoto Maikoya, and we specifically picked the Nishiki location because it was close to our hotel. For the two of us, it came to a total of 13,860 yen.
I pre-booked this experience before we came to Japan, and it was good because we got to choose our timing, and it was a really nice experience where we can choose the kimonos that we wanted. They gave us plenty of time to actually choose both the kimonos and the hairpiece for the female, and then by the end of it we were able to come to the courtyard to take photos.
Yeah, being able to take photos with a lot of the very nice clothing attires that they give us is really fun because we get to take photos of ourselves being all goofy and whatnot while looking very astonishing with our yukatas, especially you, Jess, like where you have really nice colors with the ribbons, and then we're able to pose and take as many pictures as we want with a pretty decent amount of lighting without feeling awkward because we're in an environment where they encourage us to take as many pictures as we want.
For the actual tea ceremony part, they recommended that we don't take any videos just so we can respect the culture and also just enjoy the experience of being there without the phone distracting us. It was a nice experience just being there with everybody else, and the instructor still helped us at the very end to help us take some photos, and we got led to a different courtyard just so we can take photos with a different backdrop as well.
Yeah, and as part of the package, they actually let us explore around with our kimonos. So while we were doing that, we actually met along with some British people where they brought us along to one of the cat stores that they've been to earlier in the day. But on the way there, we were exploring various areas, such as like these really nice gardens where there's like flowing water and this weird looking piece of wood.
I thought it was actually a really pretty piece of wood, and it made for a really nice backdrop because it created this really nice meditative water drop sound, and it just kind of permeated this whole space because it was just so quiet. And the beauty of Kyoto is that there's always a temple or a shrine close by, and we just happened to stumble upon this shrine that was right next to the cat shop that we were planning to go to.
Yeah, and one of the perks of being in a group is you get to have other people help you take photos. So then you can feel very natural, and then as they take photos of you, you can help out and take photos of them. And then because we're all tourists, we're all able to get along and get the feel of the area.
And this is John doing some really interesting poses once we reached the cat shop, which is called Pocket Cat Kyoto. We had to really, or I had to actually, really help resist my shopping urges here because everything was just so cute. At the end of this experience, we actually only spent 880 yen for these two little cute cat magnets that I'll eventually show, but this shop was everything that cat lovers will like. Oh, this is actually the thing that we decided to get. We had a hard time choosing, but we ended up choosing these two designs.
And with these cats, I think it's always the case where these are being sold to cat lovers, or cat moms, or cat dads, and it's really tight in the store because there's like a second floor, and to actually get up and down the stairs, it's so steep where when you're wearing a kimono or a yukata, you can actually trip really hard there. But either way, it's a pretty fun experience just to see all the cat merchandise in here.
And then at the end of this experience, my feet was starting to hurt from wearing the kimono shoes, and my hair was actually falling apart. So we thought it was the perfect time to change out of our kimonos and explore the rest of our Nishiki Market in our regular clothing.
Yeah, and the market is pretty big. When you walk around in there, you can even stumble upon a temple. And you wouldn't really expect that because it seems like very hustle and bustle. But once you take a step inside, it's very traditional. There's a lot of red lanterns everywhere.
Yeah, it was a really zen location, and they even have these amulets that you can buy. Usually you kind of have to go far to find them, but this is a nice location and very close by too.
Yeah, and we were able to see these type of crepes because Jess has been showing me these for a very long time on YouTube. So it's really cool to actually see it live in person.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised we didn't have crepes until later on during our trip, but we finally got one, which was a matcha chocolate crepe for 660 yen, which I think was pretty affordable. It had a nice decent amount of toppings, and here I am showing you my very highly prized first crepe that I got to experience.
What was really memorable about this crepe is it was really warm on the outside while the inside is very cold, with the really nice matcha that's a bit on the bitter side, which means it's really good. And then there's also a little piece of strawberry too. And seeing Jess give it like a very first try is like, oh yeah, the matcha was so good.
Yeah, I was so excited to have the mochi that I'll eventually have too, because I don't think I've had a lot of Japanese mochi at this point yet. So I was really excited just to have a good variety of toppings.
And at this point, I'm pretty sure we ate all the toppings already. So now we're just fiddling around trying to enjoy what's left of the warm crepe outer coating. And the best part is having crepes with an anime girl in the foreground.
Like John mentioned earlier, Nishiki Market is really big and it has a lot of shopping locations that you can check out. And what's really nice about Japan is that they have a lot of stalls with a lot of variety all in the same area. And then due to Japan's real estate situation in the big cities, a lot of these stalls aren't very big, which is actually good for tourists, which means that you can check out a lot of different things, like these cute little things, a lot of snow knickknacks, all in the same location without having to walk much. And I want to point your attention to these really cute dango chopstick wrists that I eventually see. They were so cute and I honestly thought about it so hard to bring them back. And I found these cute lemon drinks mix that you can make for your sangrias or other cocktails, I believe. And then at the very end, we decided to check out this vintage shop because I heard good things about thrift shopping in Japan. And although it was a nice thing to look out into, I felt like it had more men apparel in this store than female apparel. And then at this point, I was a little demotivated, so I decided to move on and continue my search elsewhere.
And even as a guy, I couldn't really find anything for myself, but at least there's a dog.
It was pretty cute.
For our overall experience with this market in Kyoto, it really has a very different vibe compared to Tokyo, because Kyoto does seem a bit smaller, even though it's quite population dense, which means that when you're exploring and going through like various shops, a lot of things feel very spacious, surprisingly, and it doesn't very feel cluttered or chaotic. Instead, it feels quite tranquil, and there's even really cool things that you can see occasionally when you walk around, like these cats.
This was the ideal situation for me because I love window shopping and just taking a peek around. Like this store that was really popular for these phone straps. I feel like it's not really a thing in North America, but in Japan, because it's so safe, a lot of people just have their phones out and about with phone straps and people won't steal it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of really cool things out and about, like this, kani, which is crab in Japanese. I really love crab, and so it's so cool to have like this giant monstrosity right here.
It was really nice. It's so big that we even found a place that had this fish foot spa that we haven't seen since Mexico, so that was a cool thing to see. And then at this stage, we decided to pop into the kombini just to see what else was new. In particular, I was taking a look at this magazine because it came with this really cute tote bag that was Snoopy themed. And then also another little cool lipstick type of situation. Japanese magazines are just so cool because some of them will just come with little gifts as part of the whole package. So you get both a magazine as well as a little gift to end your day with. And then we also saw this really cute plushie of this dog cafe that was available, I think, in one of the stalls. And then this cat theme doesn't end because we found another cat gacha machine that has these really weird posed cats.
And we also saw Halloween-themed chikawas as a plushie reward. And also, we were able to find Detective Conan-type gashapons, which is very interesting to see.
Especially because I am a huge Detective Conan fan, so that was a nice surprise for me.
Well, I'm a huge fan of this dental packaging set, which is really cool for dentistry. And also, we went into the Starbucks and saw these really cool, intricate
Kyoto exclusive merchandise. So every Starbucks location has some things that are unique specifically to the prefecture they're in. And then they're actually quite sought after, and I think they're actually resold quite a bit. But we didn't buy for the purpose of reselling because these were already quite expensive for what we saw it as. But we were really intrigued because this one had a nice snow globe effect.
And here I am trying to shake it to get the cherry blossoms flowing around because it's Japan exclusive. And then because that didn't work, I tried my best with this Starbucks cup instead. And it seems like with this close-up, we were able to really see how fine the cherry blossom particles are. And yeah, just like giving it a little twirl, and there we go.
That's actually my hand, by the way. And afterwards, we found this really cute accessory store that was right across the corner. It sold a lot of trendy items like this cute little wrist chain and this cute little bag that I saw a lot of locals were using as well too. And I thought this was the perfect opportunity to use up my coins that was starting to accumulate because they were starting to get a little bit heavy. At this point, I was still struggling a little bit to use the coins, so it was nice that the shopkeeper was able to confirm that I was using the right amount. And at the end, I was able to purchase these nice little souvenirs for myself for 550 yen.
And after using up the coins, we found a fake 3D food making class where some of these fake food products look really realistic, like this giant tower of cheeseburgers with like a lemon soda.
They even had this cute mirror section that was decorated with fake food too.
And they even offer an area where you can take some of the fake food props and take photos with them, like this giant onigiri. And then there's a station backdrop area where you can take one of those, oh my god, look at this giant piece of food photos. And when there's a giant piece of meat, of course you have to look like you're about to eat it. And of course, don't forget, size always matters.
We also really like to drink tea, so we're very excited to find Lupicia here in Kyoto. We had a lot of good variety of teas to choose from in this store, be it from herbal teas to decaffeinated teas to fruit teas to senchas. We really just couldn't choose what we wanted to get, so we spent a total of 5,484 between what I wanted to get and also what John wanted to get.
And they even lured us with free tea samples. And these ones are a bit of a special edition, specifically for their autumn series. And they also have really cool packaging for Halloween as well, where there's around 10 different types of teas. But if you don't want to have the pre-packaged ones, you can also take a look at the wide selections that they have. It really goes from one end of the store all the way to the other end, and there's so many that you can try. They even have numbers to signify each type of tea blend.
It was nice just to have the time to smell each one to decide which one we wanted.
After we left the big store, we found this small mom-and-pop type shop called Kyoto Goencha. We spent around 3,360 yen over there because they really have really good selections of these cat tea bags type envelope holiday gift card type thingies. I don't know what they are, but they were really pretty.
Hey, I specifically brought you to this store because they're known to sell these cute postcards with tea inside, so they are a great souvenir to bring back. Afterwards, we ventured over to this really trendy perfume shop that's known for DIY perfumes that you can make on site there. It was trending all over Instagram when I was going, and then at this point, I wanted to make my own perfume, but as I was starting to smell all the samples, I realized that I'm a really bad judge of scents. So at the end, I could make some really bad perfumes, and I wouldn't know. So at this point, I was still looking around and smelling everything. But then I slowly realized that maybe it was actually ideal to choose one of their best sellers from the shop.
Yeah, and there were so many scents, all with different numbers. By the time you've tried smelling all of it, your nose is just overwhelmed, and it's really hard to differentiate anything else at that point.
Yeah, I was really happy that the store was actually so crowded to the point where I couldn't even get to the counters. So I decided to smell the pre-made scents. And at this point, I found one that I really liked. This was, I believe, the Madonna Lily that I ended up buying for 5,000 yen. I was still looking around at different scents at this point. There were some for guys as well too. And I tried to make John smell them as well too, but he didn't really have an opinion, so we didn't end up buying any cologne for him.
All I smelled was price tags.
Yeah, but this was a tax-free store though if you brought your passport, so remember to bring your passport whenever you're shopping around Japan.
And at this point, we're just overwhelmed with so many scents. We just selected the really good pre-made scent and started off the checkout process, where they gave us a card and then we fill in the blanks. Essentially, it lets us select what type of bottle we want, like whether it's a square shape or a more circular shape. No, I guess not.
So I'm coming in to say that no, that's not what you choose. You end up choosing the size of the bottle, as well as the perfume concentration, and then the color of the cap, which is either gold or silver.
Yeah, as you can really tell, I have no clue about anything related to perfumes. All I know is it's nice, it smells nice, it looks nice, females like it.
Hey, you don't appreciate whenever I use perfume then.
I do recognize when you use nice perfume for sure, mainly because when I smell and I smell something different, something fruity and citrusy, then I know you're wearing perfume.
Okay, I guess it was a good purchase then. But overall, I quite like the scent myself, so I was mainly buying it for myself anyways.
Wow. Well, anyways, it's pretty interesting to know that it seems to be quite affordable compared to what we have in North America, where some of your other perfumes, those are at least 100 something retail.
Yeah, compared to that price, it's definitely on the cheaper end, so highly recommend it when you're coming here as a tourist to check out this location if you're looking out for perfumes. And they also make sure to package it really nicely so you can bring it back on the flight. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're editing more of our Japan videos. Stay tuned for our next one, which is Kyoto Vlog 4.